We are joined by Mr. Rajiv Shesh, who is the Chief Revenue Officer at HCLSoftware. With over 25 years at HCL, he has led revenue growth, marketing, customer advocacy, and professional services while building transformational partnerships worldwide. We'll talk about services as software, data privacy, sovereign technology, supply chain security, and all other things. Thank you, Mr. Shesh, for joining us on this conversation.
Yeah, pleasure to be here. Thank you for the opportunity. It's wonderful chatting.
Let me ask you my first question. If we talk about services as software in plain words, what problem does it solve for customers and what changes on day one according to you?
It's a very interesting thing. And whenever we come up with a new proposition, I think you've articulated the question very well, Rahul, because we have to think about what is the problem that we are trying to solve. Okay. Now, let me take an example of MarTech, okay, and digital. So what is happening right now is that with MarTech platforms, it's possible to segment your customer base into micro segments. Okay. For a bank which has got millions of customers, they would like to segment the customer base into micro segments, and it's possible with MarTech platforms. Second, once you micro segmented your customer base, you now need to run several campaigns for each of the segments. Okay. You also want to get more and more of your customers onto your digital banking platform. Now you combine the two things. When a customer gets onto a digital banking platform, they get multi-dimensional freedom, which is they can interact with the bank and consume the bank services at the time at which they want, the place where they want to do it, the manner in which they want to do that. And you combine all of it. Now, you've micro-segmented your customer base, the volume of your campaigns has grown, your customers are now interacting with you across time zones and locations. Also what has happened is that the barriers of exit has dropped. I would go to a bank a few years ago because the bank branch was next to my home. And with digital banking, that barrier is gone. So therefore the customers can exit. So therefore the quality of services that the banks need to deliver are going to be at a higher scale than they've been before. Now you combine all of this. And when you combine all of this, you have a situation wherein you've got to deliver much, much higher level of volume and level of service that you were delivering to clients. Okay. And how do you do that? The only way you can do that is driving higher and higher level of productivity. So the big question in front of banks is, or this organization, in this particular use case is, how do you drive higher level of productivity? The second thing, if you look at it, is that, if you were to draw a proverbial stack of investment of 100, let's say, is the CIO's budget, roughly 30 goes into infrastructure, 35 goes into software, and the balance goes into services. Okay. Now what is happening is that the software supplier, because they have a leverage over a customer and they've got complex contracts, they exercise the leverage to increase the price. So what happens is that you've got your price of software going up, and the services that are required to deliver on top of software and the services that you deliver, the budgets available are getting lesser and lesser. There's an interesting thing. The most inflationary part of the stack is the software today. Okay. But the software supplier today is not committing to fitness for purpose. The contract that a software supplier says is that, look, these are the capabilities of my software. It is not fit for purpose. And the service provider is the one that makes the software fit for purpose, or the services that go with it, and that is where the budget is getting shrunk. So you've got on one hand the whole paradigm of productivity demand, high level of services, and on the other hand, you've got this lesser and lesser budget available to make the software that you bought fit for purpose. The third dimension with it is, in case you want to drive predictability, you want to have causal analysis and all of that. How do you actually combine all of it together? And if these are three things that you're trying to solve in an organization which has moved into a digital paradigm, wherein the demand of services has gone up, the productivity demands are higher, the amount of money that you need to convert a software into a useful, purposeful usage, and also the predictability and the security and the consistency of service that you need is there. This is where, on a platform, agents of action can combine with the platform that is available and can start addressing this three-dimensional challenge that organizations are facing. And in the conversations that I've had with executives in organizations, they have welcomed the idea. They said, why would I not like that if I can get a higher level of productivity at lower cost, which is more predictable? Okay. And these are things that we are trying to solve with services software. Now it's a phrase, okay, but the important thing is that as we solve problems of giving access to our services across various dimensions that I mentioned, right. We've created new questions that need to be answered, and that's where we believe this paradigm of delivering services software will become an important paradigm.
Mr. Shesh, where do you see the next year's growth coming from? Is it deeper share in existing accounts or new products?
Where is the growth going to come from? Is it from run the business or with new technology and new innovation that customers adopt? Right. And is there where the growth is going to come from? I think the growth will come from both. Mm-hmm. Okay, and as the volume of work and continues to grow, there will be business and expansion in large accounts. For us, we are benefiting from the fact that a large amount of our customers are in large enterprise segment who are seeing good growth in their businesses, and therefore we see a straightforward growth in our installed base with the customers, and that's where we see a big chunk of our growth coming. At the same time, we are innovating on our products, and therefore we believe that our existing customer base will be adopting our new technology. And with new technology, we are also morphing into newer markets, particularly growth markets in India, Middle East, and Africa. So I expect significant amount of growth to come from new customers of our existing products, as well as products that we are designing specifically for these markets. So I expect growth to come from both these areas.
Wonderful. So let me ask you this question, which has been often talked about, which is, organizations are increasingly looking for confidentiality of information and data. First of all, how do you see that piece? And many agencies at the same time want less dependence on global clouds without losing convenience. How are you helping them keep control and still move fast, and also the first part of it?
It's a very interesting paradigm that we are entering into. First and foremost, it is important that in an organization, let's say a government or defense or any of these places, there is confidential communication that happens between people. Even the civilian agencies of the government have confidential conversations there. Governments are now becoming increasingly serious about keeping that conversation or the collaboration or the content within their own firewalls. Okay? Because as more and more sovereignty comes into action, the governments can have, different governments in different parts of the world can have a demand on data that resides in a government environment. I mean, if it's hosted in a public cloud. So therefore, there is an increasing demand for collaboration platforms to be on-premise. The second important paradigm that is coming is that with the cloud provisioning, you know, I believe that there is a little ticking time bomb, which is a term licensing time bomb, I call it, that gets inducted into the whole conversation. That if the term gets over, you no longer have the right to use the software. The governments want, they're responsible for the citizens of the country, and they don't want any such time-bound process. And therefore, not only is it important to have these collaboration platforms which are on-premise, but at the same time, there is a need for a licensing schema which gives to the government a perpetual grant of the license, which is not, which does not have to deal with any kind of term licensing or any time-bound situation, or a directive that can be issued by any third-party agency, which says that, look, stop access of email or this collaboration to this individual or this group of people, or so the governments are very wary, and we are very fortunate in HCL Software that we inherited one of the most secure collaboration platform which scales in a highly affordable manner, which is Domino. Okay. The architecture of the software is such that I can say arguably it is the most secure architecture that you can deal with. Okay. It is a system that people have been used to, and we combine it with perpetual licensing schemes for the government, and that makes it an extremely viable platform for the governments and defense agencies to use. And therefore, it's not a surprise that 900 governments across the world, including in India, use our Domino platform. Now, there is a little question that emerges that what if I want to run this on my private cloud? Okay, can I do that? How do I bring in innovation like generative AI techniques into my collaboration platform? Okay, so 14.5 version of Domino answers these questions. Okay, you can actually deploy it in the platform or cloud of your choice, even public cloud if you want. But why would you? Private cloud environments, secure environments, on-premise software, perpetual licensing, and generative AI capabilities on Domino 14.05, 14.5.
It has those features, right?
Yeah, that capability is introduced. So therefore, it is very interesting. I mean, we believe that it is our response to providing a platform to governments. Not only that, what we have gone is we've taken a step forward even in the security area. Okay, so you would like to, all the code that comes into your environments, you want to just make sure that that code is free of vulnerabilities. Okay, and you would like to do the code scan, not in a public cloud environment because you don't want your code to leave your premises. So therefore, we've created a platform called AppScan 360, wherein you can actually do the scanning of the code within your firewall in an environment which can be rendered like in a private cloud. So we multiple things that we are doing in this area to address this. Yeah.
How are India's data and privacy rules changing your deal cycles, pricing, and packaging and time to close? If you could elaborate that.
So I think it is important that as India is bringing more and more digital to important business segments such as banking, financial services, retail, etc., it is really, really critical that data privacy and particularly for PII data is dealt with seriously, right? And therefore, it is high time that the Government of India has come up with the Data Protection, Data Privacy Act and making sure that organizations understand it, particularly in the financial services area, which is a regulated and the regulated industries. We believe it's an important step, and compliance to this is an important activity. It is likely to impact deal cycles because as you try and introduce the terms of these provisions in the contracts that that agencies sign, and for them even to understand what is applicable and what is not, and therefore uh, uh, it can take a bit of time, right? And the lawyers need to understand it. The contract terms need to align with the provisions of this act. So yes, it has added a cycle or two deals, but the government actually acts in a very straightforward manner. They put terms in the contract and they expect the supplier to adhere to those contract terms. And therefore, we benefit from that actually, because having grown in India for such a long time, I mean, the company has been there today. This year is the 50th year of our journey. On 11th of August, HCL completed 49 years. This is our 50th year. So we have been working with the government. We've seen the evolution of the contracting. There has to be that intrinsic trust that the government is going to be fair in terms of their transaction, their dealings with you. We have to understand the responsibility that the regulated sector has towards the citizens it serves. And once you have an understanding, we can actually march along, and this is an evolutionary process. It is like the more you protect, the more ways of breaching that protection start emerging. And the breaching of protection is an unorganized sector, so therefore the pace of innovation in that pace is very high, and they've got to be successful just once. And so therefore, this is an evolving field, and while it will add to deal cycles, the important thing to recognize is that this is an important thing to be done, and we are very supportive of this initiative. Now, most of our software that goes out of our stables, actually all of it, is focused on, does it meet customer requirement, functionality, is it scalable, and is it secure?
These three
Are fundamental paradigms of HCL software. And I was talking to some government officials here, and I was saying that when the US government says that you are allowed to, your software can be used in our premise, we have to go through an Agni Pariksha, which is in an agreement that we've signed, national security agreement with CFIUS in the United States, and all our software needs to go through that test before it can rigorous test, right, and for it to be deployed in the government in the United States, and we've been successfully doing that. We have a brilliant track record with CFIUS, and as a result, which everybody benefits from that.
What is your partner playbook for public sector wins this year? Is it new incentives, co-selling, or co-building solutions?
So it is all of the above. In 2 years ago, in Barcelona, we launched a program called Partners First. Okay. Now, Partners First program does not mean that we are going to dish out big incentives, a big this, etc. The important thing is that we recognize that when a partner goes and engages with a client, okay, the zone in which they engage is the value zone, in which value needs to get created. And if that has to happen, the partner has to be empowered and enabled to act like an HCL software individual. So there is tremendous amount of emphasis that we are putting in terms of partner training, partner enablement, so that the partners can actually go and interact with the customers freely. Now, it helps tremendously in the government segment in India, because the partners are the ones who built a relationship with the clients, and they've got a vast array of offering. Now, if you look at a big SI deal that goes into, let's say, a large government agency, let's take NIC, it has several components, and our software is one of the components that is there. And the government engages with with the partner. And we don't want the partner to keep telling the client during a process of buying that let me check back with HCL software. The first part of our strategy is empowerment. Okay? Giving our partners training and knowledge so that they can operate exactly like the way that we do. So that's one. Second is, of course, we are completely committed to protecting partner margin, because we have to respect that a partner is a business and they have to be able to run that business profitably. So the way we run our business partner program is to make sure that our business partner managers are, their KPP is strongly involved. Is the business partner being successful in their objectives? And the moment we start measuring our success with the business partner success, magic starts happening. You don't need to necessarily have the most innovative piece of software or cutting edge, leading edge piece of software for a business partner program to be successful. What is most important is that the business partner should, over a period of time, build trust with you so that they know that they're walking on firm ground when they're interacting with you, and that you're going to be behind them all the time. I'll give you an instance. One of our business partners committed to deliver a software program for our client for $100,000 for a bank. And they just, as soon as they got into the project, they realized that they were 20% of the total effort that was required. And I'm very happy to state that our team stepped in and have completed the work for the customer. We've given the money to the partner. In the process, all that we've ensured is that the partner is now enabled to be able to not make similar mistakes in the future. So that is the cornerstone of our strategy. I think the marketing, our partners demand marketing funds so that they can actually go and talk about the services that they sell on top of our products, and we welcome that. We have still to see evolution of solutions being created by partners on top of our software. I mean, for our enterprise software products, there are partners who've created some small add-ons, but we need to see more momentum. Right. For that, we are creating a program which a very senior executive from our team leads, which is creating ISVs on our software. You'll be impressed to learn that 10 million applications have been created on platforms that are owned by HCL now. 10 million applications. Okay. This is a testament to citizen development, because a lot of software got created by the employees of the organization that they bought their software. But a lot of it has been created by small companies that actually took that platform, built an application, and created a business on top of that application. So there are 80 such companies that have done that. And we want more and more of such companies to flourish in India. And we see tremendous opportunity in this space, in this space. Particularly when you look at, let's say, Government of India's initiative for artificial intelligence. The entire AI India mission is anchored on the principle that the government is going to provide resources, and on the website there are use cases that are going to be published on which applications will be created, and the government is also creating a fund which can actually fund part of those applications, right? We see that as a tremendous opportunity for our partners to build applications to meet these AI, India's AI mission objectives, right, and do that. We are doing it on our own and participating in several places, but we are equally interested in our partner community engaging and in that part of the operation as well, because it not only creates markets for them in India, but it creates markets for them internationally as well.
Supply chain security is board topic now. What is the one action you ask a CISO to take this quarter, and how do you measure its impact?
Supply chain security is a subject, you rightly said, is a subject way beyond, the CISO paradigm. And as I said, software bill of material in the supply chain is a very, very important element of the exercise. And not only that, APIs, what is the amount of open source code that has gone into a code that has been built. I think the one action that I would expect the CISOs to take is to take an integrated view of their software and its supply chain, the APIs. And the way we address it is with our platform called AppScan 360, which, as I said earlier, is a response to this very question of supply chain security, which offers integrated, software examination for vulnerabilities during the code building process, the SAST,
Right.
the DAST at the completion process, the ability to understand SBOM, the ability to understand APIs. And also we are now introducing capability to do remediation once you found this exercise. But this is a continuously evolutionary, evolving field. And so the CISOs have to be vigilant and look for platforms that offer integrated capability as against a point capability in just meeting, solving a developer's problem in a secure DevOps environment. It has to be an integrated view.
Right. Mr. Shesh, tell me about a recent deployment that you're really proud of.
We are very, very proud of several of them. I mean, our software actually gives us an opportunity to engage at scale. Engage where customers are really, really serious about deploying software to get means, right? Unfortunately, I can't name this client because of confidentiality requirements, and this is a customer in the public sector. But I'm extremely proud of the fact that in this organization, they've got several suppliers delivering software and services to them. And I was with them last week in Mumbai, and they said that, look, it is a proud moment for us that we're delivering this project ahead of schedule with the functionality that we were seeking. So the important thing is that we were actually asking a question amongst ourselves as to when we deliver something for a client, what is the reference that we would like to seek from them? And that is how we want to define HCLSoftware. What is it that we seek the client reference for? Do we seek a reference from the client for these guys did the project on time? One. The capabilities of this software are excellent and outstanding. Two. Third, it is easy to deal with this company. This company delivers what it commits. And in case there's difficulty, they don't leave us. They would continue to keep working to make sure that the project is successfully completed, and are willing to raise aspirations so that we can actually do more with what we've got. We've been able to deploy the software that we bought from them. So net, we would like to be remembered for a reference that a customer will give us of being a decent, good software company. And that can be extremely unique positioning for ourselves, wherein software vendors are looking at creating leverage with customers to keep increasing prices and complex pricing schemas where customers don't know, and go after feature functions and if things are successful, it's their software credit. If things don't fail, it's a system integrator, the customer was at fault. So we've achieved all this in this particular customer place. wherein there is delight. We can actually sit together and have coffee. And we can remember the journey that we've done for the last 8 months' time, wherein we've had all the kind of challenges that we were stumbling upon. And we've reached the stage wherein the customer feels that we are ahead of schedule. It's not completely done yet. All the big rocks that need to be lifted have not been lifted yet. But at the same time, your question was, what is it that I'm proud of, which is completed in all respects? I don't believe a journey with a customer completes. We are in a journey with a client because their goals keep evolving, and our aim is to evolve with them. This is one client. It's in the financial services area, very, very large enterprise. In terms of volume of customers and its presence, it may be among the largest organizations in the world. And we took on a challenge, and so far the journey has been very heartening, and I personally feel proud of it because I had an opportunity to engage with it right from its inception. So yeah, that's the one. It's a large MarTech program, which we are very, very proud of. Yeah.
And finally, as a CRO of a very large organization, what keeps you up at night, and what is your fix over the next 2 quarters?
So first of all, Ruhail, I would say I sleep very well at night. Okay, so I don't think I sleep well at night, and the reason I am able to sleep very well at night is because I am quite positive that our operation runs with very, very high level of integrity. I feel very confident that our teams are committing to clients which we can deliver. I feel very confident that everybody is striving very, very hard to deliver on the commitments that we've made, right? And the motivation of our teams is very, very high. But there are a couple of things that that are top of my attention span, right? Which is that the software that we've sold to our clients, is it being deployed correctly? Are the customers getting the right kind of return on investment on that, right? Second thing that actually keeps me very, very keenly aware of what's happening in the market is the pace of innovation. I believe that there is going to be a big margin crush that will happen in the software industry. Okay. There's huge amount of margins that the software industry makes today, and there's a big amount of leverage that is there, as a result of which they're able to pay people compensation which is completely, which is at a different scale as compared to the rest of the businesses, large incentive plans for selling more and more software. I believe as India grows into a huge consumer of software, and the production of that software happens in India, the price points of software which is to be used at scale is going to change. So I give examples of things that are done in India with world-class quality and at fraction of the price points and cost points. You look at the big dig in the Boston area, it costs about $14-15 billion. And you look at Atal Setu in Mumbai, I believe the cost of that is about $2.5-3 billion, happening at a much later date. And marvel of engineering, both of them. But the price points are different. The same thing is with software. I give an example of our ITSM software that is being built in a small area close to Lucknow, where there are engineers who are building our big fix service management software. And we believe that it is like at a fraction of a price point as compared to its American competitors. It is almost there in terms of functionality. It is laced with AI techniques, and therefore it's going to, it has an opportunity to create disruption. So things that grab my attention are basically Are we innovating at the right pace? Are we being honest to our customers? Are we making sure that the customers who've invested in our software are getting the maximum return on it? But does it keep me awake at night? No, I'm able to sleep quite well.
That's wonderful. But it's been a pleasure talking to you, Mr. Shesh, and thanks for sharing all the insights about HCL Software. And we hope on your next visit too, we'll have another conversation.
It'll be my pleasure. Thank you very much, and it's been wonderful talking with you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.